everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna be making lamb suya. So for this recipe I'll be using lamb leg. For this recipe I'll also be using olive oil, and I'll also be using homemade suya spice. If you want to know how to make the suya spice, you can leave a comment in the description, and I'll be using paprika too. So right now I'm just gonna be removing the meat from the lamb leg. You can see it has a lot of bone in it, so I'm just trying to remove the meat from the bone. It's gonna be a stressful process, so just make sure you get a lamb or meat that doesn't have bone in it. That's why it's easier for you. So if this is your first time visiting my channel, please support me by subscribing to my channel as I upload new recipes every week. Thank you. So I'm almost done with deboning the lamb leg. You can see I've gotten all the meat I need from the lamb. So next thing I'm gonna be doing, I'm gonna be cutting the meat into thinner slices to make it easier for me to use for the lamb suya. You can see how thin this is right now, so you want to make sure you cut them into thinner sizes or smaller sizes like I'm doing right now to make it easier for you. Like an example, you can see this meat, I'm just using a bigger knife to make sure I get it properly. I'm just cutting through the meat to make sure it is very thin. You want your meat to be very thin for this recipe. That way it can cook faster and it doesn't have to stay longer time in the grill. So you can see how good this looks right now. I'm almost done with my meat. You see how thin this looks. That's how you want it to be. So after cutting the meat into thinner slices, I'm just going to be washing it with water. I've already done that before, but I'm just doing it again since I cut it into thinner slices. I'm removing some fat from the meat, and I'm also making sure it comes out looking very good. That's why I'm giving it a wash again. So after that, I'm just using my paper towel to remove the water. You can also leave it out to make sure it dries a bit, but I'm just using my paper towel because I don't have time to wait. So I'm just removing the water, and now it's clean and it's dried. I'm going to be using skewers. Sorry, I forgot to mention skewers as part of the main ingredients for this recipe. You need skewers for your lamb. So I'm just marinating it right now with olive oil. I'm adding a little bit of stock, and I'm just mixing it together, make sure it's properly incorporated. And I'm also adding paprika for this, so I'm just mixing it, giving the good mix, make sure it's incorporated with the meat. And right now I'll be using my skewers. You want to be careful when using the skewers for the lamb. If not, you're going to injure yourself or you're going to puncture your fingers. So the trick I'm using is I'm making sure I find the bottom part of the meat and the upper part of the meat, and I'm using the skewers, you can see, to pass through the bottom part, and after that I'm just using it to go through the upper part of the meat, and I'll just puncture it in. You want to wash your fingers as well and put as many meat as you want into one skewer, and then you continue the whole process all over again. So you just repeat the process and be careful not to injure yourself while doing this. If you're still watching and you've not subscribed to my channel, please support me by subscribing to my channel as I upload new recipes every Tuesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays. Thank you, and I'm glad you'll join the Moga's Meals family too. So right now my skewers are filled with lamb. You can see they look beautiful right now. So what I'll just be doing, I'll be marinating it more with the suya spice. So I'm just rubbing each and every meat in the skewers with the suya spice. You want to make sure it's properly incorporated into the meat, so you want to make sure you marinate it very well. Put as many spices as you want into the meat, and you just marinate it and continue the process for the remaining meat too. So right now you can see how the lamb suya is looking. It's looking colorful because the spice is properly incorporated into the meat, and I'll be using oven grill for this. So I'm just putting a tin foil because this meat is going to release some juice and I don't want it to get stained in the oven. So I'm just putting them into the grill one by one, and I'll be marinating it again with oil to make sure the meat comes out tasting tender and not too dry. That's why I'm marinating it again with olive oil before I put it into the grill. You can use vegetable oil, sunflower oil, whatever oil you have available. So I'm just putting it into the oven, and it's gonna stay for 30 to 40 minutes. You can see the grill of my oven. You want to make sure you flip them every time, about 8 to 10 minutes, to make sure each sides are cooked. Now this is how my lamb suya looks like. They are juicy, they look good. You can see the suya spice is properly incorporated and blended into the lamb suya. You can see how lovely this looks. This looks yummy right now. So after removing the lamb from the skewers, I'm just gonna be garnishing it with veggies I have at home. I'm using cucumbers, I'm also using white onions, and I'm also using orange bell peppers. You can see how colorful this looks, right? It looks beautiful, it looks colorful, and it tastes yummy as well. Yes. So this is how my lamb suya looks like. It is lovely, it tastes good. Thank you for watching.